today's wonderful video, we're going to take apart, I'm going to show y'all how to take apart, place the seals, and re-put this hydraulic bead breaker back together. Hopefully it works. This thing I've had outside, somebody, I think a customer never picked it up or something. Didn't want it, I don't remember. Anyway, it's been sitting outside probably for 2-3 years, I'm not sure. So I'm hoping that it's not all rusted up inside. But we're going to take a look. To get started on this thing, first off, this bead breaker is usually hooked up to a pump. I mean, that's the only way you're going to be able to use it. This is like a porta potty ram, but it has 2 rams. This one, this ram here, it closes down on the rim of a big tire of some sort, tractor, tire, you know, big equipment, whatever. Generally, it pushes, it closes first. There is a valve down here, has a spring and a ball in it, and basically it prevents this ram from pushing out until it gets up to a certain amount of pressure. So basically this clamps down on the ram up to a certain amount of pressure, and then this ram here pushes out and breaks the bead. That's how it works. This is going to be hooked up to a pump. Generally, most of the time, you have them hooked up to a air over hydraulic pump. Most of the time, you can hook them up to any kind of pump. It can be an electric over hydraulic pump. It can be a hand-operated pump. That's how I'm going to test this on, because I don't have an air over hydraulic pump in here right now. And I can test it with I got 2 power units. I can test it with that too. I might just do that, but probably easier. But anyway, but you can hook up to a hand pump if you're out in the field or whatever. You can hook up just a hand pump, whatever. Anyway, but the first thing you want to do is unhook it from your whatever pump you have. Usually they have a quick coupler. Unscrew it. Sometimes they're directly screwed into there. Unscrew it. You got to get that thing out of your way. And you can do these one at a time if you want to. You can say, like, if this one's the only one leaking, you can just rebuild that one. Or if this one's leaking, you can just rebuild this one. But generally it's best to do both of them because they both wear at the same time. One's leaking, probably the other one's going to go leaking pretty soon afterwards. So it's best to just go ahead and do them both. But first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get this coupler right here because it's very rusted up inside. And you don't have to take it off to rebuild this thing, but I'm going to take it off so I can clean it up. And anyway, let's get started with this baby. Okay, I got that out of there. That took way longer than I expected. It was very froze up. Okay, now this is something you don't technically have to do, but it makes it a little easier, is to take these arms off. If they'll come off, they're held on by a couple of clips on each side. And it's probably best to mark them, but you might want to put it back the same way. So I'm going to mark these things. I'm going to need to spray some penetrating oil on these babies. That thing's about empty. It's barely coming out of there. On this one, I don't know if this has been changed or not, but they usually come with these E-clips. It's got snap rings on this end. Find a spot and knock it off. Yeah, they coming off easy. Looks like. can if you won't take this off. It's 2 Allen screws, but I don't think I'm going to do that. You got to take this end off here. This handle bill. I think that takes it pretty good. It's got a bolt. Both of these are spring tension. They pull in with springs. And this one, you got to take the Allen out of it. I use this. You can use just a regular wrench. Let's see. And it's pretty long. That's the reason a T-handle works better. Take it all the way out. See what I'm talking about? Pretty long. You got to unscrew this end cap right here. You have to put it in a vise for that. You also need to catch the oil. There's going to be oil coming out of this thing. It ain't a lot of oil. Then you need your pipe wrench. They have an O-ring on them, so usually they're not super tight. Like I said, this has a spring that pulls this ram back in there. Usually this will pull off like that. To where you don't have to mess with that. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it apart to show y'all. This is where the seals are. And you also got an O-ring down there. Trying to break that loose. Oh dear, I forgot to turn the camera. Well, crap. Anyway, you may have seen that. Anyway, I stuck there's a little hole right here. I don't know if all of these have this. This one has it. You may have to try to stick this in a vise or grab it with something with you don't want to scratch it up. But you got to keep this one turning basically to break this Allen loose in there. Like I said, generally you probably won't have to do this, but I just wanted to show it does have a little copper gasket on here, and so you can replace that and that. But what it is a spring right here, and let me take you over a little bit closer. And the spring comes off if you get it turned. Usually sometimes it has a Loctite on it, but I don't know if you can see that. There's a washer here. There's a spring and a ball under there. So when you turn and screw this off there, sometimes you'll have trash or something get under the ball and give you problems under that check valve. So I'm going to set the camera down to do this so I can catch everything. I can't do it with one hand. I just want to show you that unscrewing that, basically you're unscrewing the spring off of another little stud under here. I'll show you when I get done, when I get it off. washer. Little spring. And ball. A little ball. Now all you got left on here, on this side anyway, is an O-ring and a backing. You got an O-ring. You got a backup on it. That's the little stud I was talking about. And like I said, the ball and stuff goes up inside there. There's a seat there. Next we're going to take this plug out. This is actually the valve that controls the clamp. So like I said, it's got a ball and spring in here, and it's a certain tension spring to where it basically relieves so you don't build too much pressure on your rim or whatever. Now, it's the plug. It's also got a copper gasket on it. Spring. Ball. Spring and a ball. Sits in there like that. See that? Yeah. Now that you've got that out, that one off, take this end off. Figure out a way to clamp it in your vise. It has two holes here for a spanner wrench, but usually this one's pretty tight. Once you get it broke loose, you can put a spanner wrench in it. Now we already took that long Allen out of this one, because if you don't, it's strong. You ain't gonna pull this out. So you gotta get that Allen out. Anyway, you get this plug out. It's got an O-ring and backup on here too. Once you get that off of there, you can take something. You got to do is you got to push that down some, because to get the ram out of there is a roll pin through the end of this. You got to get this piece off of there. Now that you got that off there, clean your end up on here. It pushes through that. And you got the ram out of this one. There's nothing on the ends of these. It's just a stop with a snapper. Check it, make sure it ain't broken off or something. Now you've got it completely disassembled, except for the seals. On this end, you've got seals down here. So sometimes these things come with, they're always a poly seal. Oh, crap. There's a poly seal up inside there, a U-cup or whatever you want to call it. You have to take something like a pick of some sort stab it, grab it, pull it out. They come in different sizes generally. Some of these things are foreign made, I think, and I see now, and so they use metric stuff. The old American made ones, OTC, Imt, and kind of there's a bunch of different American made ones that had different names on them. Their seals were pretty much the same, but that's your main seal right there. That's what keeps it from leaking. Now you do have a wiper on it. Some of them use a snap-in wiper, what's called a snap-in wiper. It's just a wiper that you just push it in a groove. It's got a little groove and you just push it in there. This one's got like a metal seal on it, so you're going to have to get something to take that seal out. Sometimes you can just use a screwdriver. I've got this little deal right here. That shot out of there like a rocket. Anyway, yeah, it's a knock-in seal, a push-in seal, metal, rubber, metal, whatever. Now you got the seals out of that one. You can take the seal. Now, and this is what I was talking about with this one. This one actually has a snap-in seal, they call it. It's basically just pushes into a groove in there. Then you got the poly seal, which is usually going to be the same size as the other side. Now this has actually got a backup in it. I think somebody added that to it. Yeah, it looks like somebody added that to it. These are basically, I think these are 3/16. I think it takes a 1/4 inch height one. Oh yeah, this one's got a backup in it too. But this will work, it's no problem. Doing like this. The other end had one too. A backup is sometimes it's better actually to have a backup because they help prevent when you got a seal under pressure. When you get pressure on a seal, it's always a little bit of play between metal and metal. So there's a little bit of play between here and here, just maybe a few thousandths. You know, you can feel it. And a backup basically goes behind the seal, and what it does, it prevents the seal from trying to push through that little gap in between the few thousandths in between this and the metal part of this. It helps to keep this seal from trying to push through there, and because it's called extrusion, it's trying to push this seal between that gap under pressure. It takes quite a bit of pressure to do that, but it helps to do that. Now most of these things, I guess because sometimes it takes quite a bit of pressure to break a bead, but most of them just come with a seal, just the U seal itself that is the right. So this is going to be 3/16. So, and I'm sure this is probably a 1/4 inch altogether. So you get the seal in a 1/4 inch, and most of the time it's just the seal in there. It don't have a backup. So now you want to just do is clean it all up. I'm going to put it in my parts washer and clean it all up. No need of recording that. Okay, I got it cleaned up. We're going to go back with the stuff. Doesn't really matter which one you do first. I'm going to just do this side here first. I'll put the seal sizes in the description or something, or post them on here right now or whatever online anyway. But the poly seal or U seal is U-shaped. It's got a flat back and then a U-shaped side. The U-shaped part is always going to face the pressure, so you always want it to play like On this, the pressure's pushing out, trying to push the rod out. So you always want to push it, put the U shape facing the pressure. So that'll be where the back is toward the outside. And you can just push them in. They make a tool for doing this, but they're pretty easy to get in there. Just usually, sometimes you can just use your fingers. There's a little groove in there. You just kind of work it down in there. If you get down there where the final spot is, take you like a little blunt screwdriver. I've got a little tool that's made for doing O-rings and stuff. It's rounded and it's blunt, and you can take it and finish pushing it in the rest of the way. Just make sure it's in all the way good. And now these seals are 1/4 inch, so I'm not going to use a backup on them. Then you got a wiper to seal. Of course, it's made to where the full metal part faces down, the seal part faces up, just to wipe the dirt off before it goes into the jack. I'm going to use a socket. I don't think that's going to hit it. Let's see here. Get your socket over the thing. And you want to do this pretty evenly. Make sure it's flush down all the way. Now, we've got the seal in there and the wiper seal. We're going to put the rod back in. So basically just going back in reverse with everything. So you got your rod, it's the longer rod on this side. And let's put a little grease. Let's put a little bit of grease on there. A little grease on there so it'll slide in a little easier. Like I said, this goes in like this. Now you don't have to put a piece on here yet. You can wait till the very end to put that other piece on here after you test it and everything, or whatever you want to do with it. But you are going to have to leave this kind of down, because this has got a screw in there, and like I said, it's got an Allen screw. And with it, you're going to go back with a new backup ring on there first, on this part here. Make sure you push it, when you get it on there, make sure you push it down all the way to where it's flush, like that, toward the back of it, because the O-ring is going to go in front of it. O-ring going to go on there next. And it goes on there like that. So you got the backup. Let me see. You got the backup here, the O-ring here, because the pressure is pushing this way, pushing out. So you want the backup always behind where a seal goes to prevent the O-ring from trying to blow past the metal, the difference in the few thousandths in the metal. Put your little grease on here. Smear that crap around a little bit. Now screw this in. tighten it back up with the wrench. Okay, we're going to put the Allen back in there. Got a new copper washer. Be sure to take your old one off. It's supposed to just slide down over there. There it goes. Just there. Stick it back in here. Tighten it up, put your Allen pretty snug. Okay, we're going to go back with the ball, spring, and cap that goes in here. Ball first. Spring next. Cap nut. You can change out the copper washer. This one ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just going back with the same one. Now we're going to do this end. It's going to be a new backup first. O-ring goes next. Make sure it's in front of the backup. Now you got this piece. Okay, well, I forgot to turn the camera on to film me assembling this part, but basically just go in reverse of what you did. I think I put the seals in the thing. I think the only thing I didn't show you was the little valve assembly down there. This ball and spring, and a little the spring. You got to tighten the spring down against the. You put the ball and spring in there, and you the little washer. I showed you that in the beginning. The way it comes off, just go back in reverse. I'm not going to take this back apart to do that. And screw that spring back down. Put a little bit of Loctite. Usually I just put the blue Loctite on it. Put a little bit on the threads, because when you tighten that spring down against the little washer and the spring and the ball, it just helps to keep it from backing off. Because all you can do is basically hand tighten it. After you get that tightened on there, you're going to put the ram on there and the screw it down with a new copper washer. Tighten that up, and because you got to have it like I showed you in the beginning. I put the you have a little hole anyway on some of these, so you can tighten that washer, that Allen screw up pretty tight, and then when you get done, put some grease into this and push this over and tighten this piece here down, this yellow part right here. If you took it apart, if you watched the beginning and took it apart, just go in reverse basically. Now you got the hydraulics basically done. What I was fixing to do next was clean this up, because it goes through there and it's pretty rusty. So let me clean that up real quick. Okay, I've got it buffed down. Put you a little bit of grease on this thing. And it slides through right in here. Now you've got to put this down here on this end. It's just got a screw, a bolt. Make sure the handle is facing upwards. It's going to be in line with this one up here. There'll be a handle up here and a handle out here. That's what you grab. Don't turn it. Do not turn it like that. Turn it up like this. You can see. I hope you can see. Yeah, you can see all that. Zip it down. Now we're going to go back with these. And as you remember, we marked them. You're going to put a little grease on these two, little studs sticking out. Side in here. Bring it back on. E-clip. This way. I thought I could just pop it on there, but it's easier that way. And the same with the other side. I got a mess here. Grease. Clip. Pliers. There's my pliers. Snap ring. Snap ring for the other end. Like I said, you could have this. Like I said, this is. Like I said, this is going to be for multiple types of these things. They're all kind of built the same. The ones that are built like this, but they come in. I mean, they're coming different ones. Some of them are dirt cheap now. These things, when they first came out, I remember they were well over $1,000 just for this. That wasn't counting the pump, and they used the pump back ends were all American made, and they were anywhere from $500, $600, $700 a piece. So generally, you would have $1,500 or more dollars tied up into it. And now some of these things, you can buy them online. It says I don't know how good they are. They're probably junk. Made out of China, but you know, $200 or $300, I think. I don't even know if that may be for the whole thing. I'm not even sure. But they look like they're built pretty much the same. So probably just different seals, whatever. Maybe a few little different things. But basically, all you gotta do now is I gotta clean this coupler up. It's a quick coupler, and basically all you got to do is this handle here goes in there. This thing you can position in whatever angle you like, but most people like it, you know, generally where it's in line with this one. So it's got a jam nut on here, so just line it up. And then all I've got to do now to get this piece here back on there, what you want to do is pressure it up, and basically I'm going to show you, but it's going to clamp and this will start pushing out. Once you push it out a little ways, you can put that on there and put the roll pin back through there. But right now I'm going to clean up that fitting right there real quick. Okay. Got the couple cleaned up. Change out the O-ring in here. This one takes a 1/16 O-ring. Some of them take a 210. Then there's some that take metric ones. But most of these take a 2. Most of the newer ones take a 210. Most of them, but this is probably an older coupler. It's an old Interpack one. This is not Interpack, but you can use different kinds. They come in all kinds of brand names and stuff. It used to be you could only get them like OTC, Power Team, and Interpack, but anyway, but put some pipe tape on the end of it, screw it in here. Screw it in. Okay, we've got it hooked up to my power unit, the hose. What we gotta do is run this piece here out down here so I can put this foot on there. got to get it far enough to where you can get the roll pin back in there. Anyway, make sure it's facing the same direction as your other teeth here. How far? Knock your roll pin back in. Okay, there's nothing really special about bleeding it, you just run it out a couple times. That's the clamp. Clamps it on the rim. Now starts building up pressure. Once it builds up enough pressure that holds it on the rim, then the other part starts pushing out. And that's it. Been rebuilt. Good luck on your endeavors to rebuild yours, or whatever. Like I said, as far as getting seals for one of these things, if you go to just get your seals out, take them to a local hydraulic place, repair shop, or you can measure them and go online. Sometimes you can just type in the size, like put in there U cup, this is 1.5 inches, 1 7/8 by 1/4. That's what, type that in there and you might could come up. I have done that and seen them on them. I'll put the sizes and stuff either in here in the list in the description below, something like that for this one. But the problem is it's no telling what you've got. So you're gonna have to probably just get yours apart and see. This is, I believe this is an Esco brand. These are fairly expensive. Maybe it'll help you out. Like I said, whatever brand you got, with it, hope it helps you out.